The steps for success represent the natural path to overall self-actualization. Despite being a natural path, however, it is not obvious and requires attention and conscious choices in order to be able to face it, follow it, and complete it. Therefore, today we talk about success, which, although it represents the sense of abundance and fulfillment in various areas of life, for most people, especially in times of crisis, epidemics, or in general socially difficult moments, represents answers to the questions: how do I increase my income? How can I get rich? There are steps to take, and these bring into our life everything we want, regardless of the place we live in, gender, race, religion and political current, the historical period we go through, and whatever the economic capacity of eventual customers are. The 13 steps for success that open you up to life. It is not a magic formula and there is nothing shady, but it's about principles that have emerged over the course of years of study by researchers from various disciplines, ranging from religions to quantum physics, passing through psychology, philosophy, metaphysics, neurology, and various other sciences. These people have tried to answer the question, but successful people, what do they do different from others? The univocal answer was that these people look at life differently and act accordingly. Many, if not all, these principles recall to the law of attraction, which I will talk about in a separate video. These principles, the success principles, developed by my teacher Jack Canfield, represent the subdivision into stages of the entire path to achieve success, abundance in any area of life: financial, work, relational, personal, health and wellness, recreation, community. I will not get into details of the principles in this context because it would take a video for each of them, but I will give you, through these 13 stages I prepared for you, a clear idea of what needs to be done to be winners. The premise is that everything starts with the brain. It's our mind that creates reality, and there is where we need to work. So let's start. The first step is take 100% responsibility for your life. The most complicated and important step. Often when we hear about responsibility, we are linked to guilt. But the sense of this principle is to regain possession of the ability to choose and be solely responsible for the result obtained. It means recognizing our active power and, yes, taking the blame for the wrong decisions, but knowing that we can reverse the course without blaming or complaining to the outside world for what we get in life. You made me eat too much and I got fat. What, you bought the fork in your mouth? They didn't tie you up and put the food down your throat, isn't it? The second step is be clear why you're here. We need to understand what our purpose in life is, what we feel we have to do. What is that drive, that desire, that pulsion that we have always felt and that we should recognize because it represents our highest destiny? The one that makes us feel full and totally vital and connected with life. In short, the final goal. The third step is decide what you want. What do you really want? What would make you truly happy? What will make you feel satisfied? It is necessary to indicate in detail, in writing, what exactly we would like to manifest in our life. Many people don't formulate precise goals, and that doesn't move anything. If you call a taxi and do not give the address where to take you, it will take you nowhere and will ask you to get off. Fourth step unleash the power of goal setting. Here is a question of detailing each individual goal. It is necessary not only to be clear about the goal, but also to plan the time of how much and by when, date and time, you want to achieve that particular goal. The deadline serves to make the subconscious, which is database and operations center, understand that it is really a goal to be consolidated and not only a simple idea. Otherwise, for him, we are talking about an indefinite future and it will not activate. It's not enough to say I want to get rich. How rich? How much rich? 100,000? 1 million? 1 billion? And by when? May 26, 2003 at 2:37 p.m. That's the way to write a goal, to a precise goal. Fifth step, believe is possible and believe in yourself. If we do not believe that we are able to manage a certain situation, which we would like to manifest in our life, or if we think that their realization is not possible, they will not manifest. For each goal that we set ourselves to achieve, we must always have the absolute and full conviction that it is doable and realistic, but above all, that we are perfectly capable of achieving and managing it. It is not a matter of dimension, but of convictions. Small or large are just convention and limitation that we place in ourselves. Sixth step, use affirmations, ideal scenes, vision boards, and visualization. We must always keep in mind that our subconscious, producer and materializer, does not have a negative language, therefore does not understand if something causes pain or if we are saying that we don't want it. Energy flows where our attention is concentrated. So we must therefore work on modifying the sentences we say to the brain and use affirmations. If we don't want more debt, for example, instead of saying I don't want debt, just say I want prosperity. The subconscious works for images then. If we vividly imagine scenes related to the achievement of a goal, and to facilitate ourselves, we use blackboards, slides, vision boards with representations of that goal, our subconscious will be activated to achieve them. We remember that the mind does not recognize the difference between an action really performed by a vividly imagined one. Seventh step, turbocharge them with your feelings. The vehicle for giving a boost to our thoughts, desires, are feelings. Among other things, they are the ones who create the magic that will lead to realization. Each thought provokes feelings in us, which will convey the energy of thought and create the condition to make our subconscious operational. What we need to do is focus on positive feelings. We welcome, process, and redirect the negatives, but we focus on positives only. 8 steps. Create a vibrational match for what we want. This is the funnest part when we allow ourselves to be children. Just like them, when they see a new toy, we have to get excited, cheer, laugh, sing, even if it seems stupid to us, because that creates the vibration that will project itself into the universe and will give us in parallel the corresponding fulfilled desire or ideas to do it. Through meditation and visualization, we must imagine ourselves in the situation linked to our desired goal as already achieved, and rejoice even out loud for joy of having made it. We standing in the room and started jumping, laughing, singing, and say, "Yahoo! Let's do it!" without a shame, because it works. 9th step, take action. This is the most important part to see the realization of our goals. If we think without acting, nothing will happen. We must not allow ourselves to be held back by fear, but act according to the inspiration of the moment, without being in a hurry. But take one step at a time, knowing that at the end we will reach the desired goal. So we don't have to force our end, but neither should panic and avoid moving. We must be like poets. when they have inspiration, write a poem following the creative moments, and we must always complete what has been started. A half picture is an unfinished work. 10th step: ask, and reject rejection. Here begins a critical part because preconceptions, fear, doubts come into play. It's not always possible to achieve something alone, and in one way or another, we need help. Whether it's a consultancy, a partnership, a company, or anything that involves other people, we shouldn't be ashamed to ask. Even if it were a simple information, by not asking, we do not get an answer. When we want something from someone, the only way to get it is to ask for it. Because regardless of the answer, the other person does not read our minds. There is often the fear of rejection, but we have to understand that a no is not a personal thing, but an answer. And just take it as such. It's only an answer. So we asked the questions, the answer was no, and we will ask others and others until the yes will come, and it will. Imagine there is a certain number of no's to be received in order to get a yes. Every no we receive is a step closer to the yes. Remember that, it works. 11th step: ask, welcome, and respond to feedback. It is important if we want to grow and improve in any area of our life to ask for feedback. They are useful for straightening the shot and for seeing things about us and our behavior that we are unable to see by ourselves. However, we must keep in mind 3 rules. The first: to receive it, we must ask it. It doesn't come automatically. Second, knowing how to filter them, because there are the real one, they are constructive, recommend a way to improve a certain thing, and we must know how to welcome them without being offended when we don't like it. Remember, it's not a personal attack. Then there are the fake ones, sent from people who simply love to criticize and demolish others, but without giving advice, and these are not useful and should be discharged. The third rule is we should always thank those who send us feedback because they took the time to help us and they paid attention to us. The use or not of the advice is as something that we will decide privately. 12th step: practice persistence with patience. Things don't always or hardly ever come to the first try. We must therefore learn to persevere in achieving our goals. If we stopped at every obstacle, we would never accomplish anything. Imagine many famous people and their often difficult stories, especially at the beginning. If they stopped, they would have never achieved the success. In addition, by practicing persistence, we learn to enjoy every stage of the journey and appreciate every nuance, and without realizing it, we will find ourselves having realized our dream. Hurry is always a bad advisor and limits our view along the way. Patient perseverance opens our eyes and makes us see possibilities, opportunities that otherwise we will not even considered. 13th and last step: have an attitude of gratitude. To have a positive attitude, move the energy of realization, activate the law of attraction, and vibrate in universal frequency, we must learn gratitude. The fact of existing is already the first things to be grateful for. Then there is the ability to dream, the people we know, the things we own, etc., etc. We often take certain things for granted or don't even think about them. But gratitude sets our memory of positivity back in motion by reminding us that there are beautiful and positive things in our existence. Starting from being alive, we could not have been born. So gratitude is the orchestra conductor blow of baton which indicates the beginning of symphony. So, these 13 steps represent the path to take to get where we want. My work as a trainer coach is essentially based on these and on my personal experience of life and study. I am here to help you change your life through personalized, dynamic, and interactive coaching, which explains how to apply these principles and much more. What are you waiting for to contact me? How much is your happiness worth? And what's holding you back?